What is up, you guys? We're back here today. Thanks for tuning in to Ghost Media. Today's video is going to be about a motor I bought off of Facebook Marketplace. As you can see right here, I have the block and I have the head. So we're going to be kind of seeing if I bought a blown motor potentially. So let's just dig right into the video. But before anything else goes any further with the video, I just want to say I appreciate everyone's support. If you could really hit the subscribe button, hit the like, check out our social media platforms, that would be a huge thing. So like I said, guys, we're going to dig into this motor. I'm going to see if it has any fluids in it still. I'm going to drain the oil. I'm going to see if there's any coolant in it, just because I'll explain here in a minute, but I'm going to be taking this whole thing apart. Maybe not the entire block today, but I'm for sure taking the head apart. The head and the block are really dirty, which is what it is. But so to obviously clean that, I'm gonna have to take it all apart, which is fine. So. So now that we got the intro out of the way, just yesterday I went and picked up a GSR motor off of Facebook Marketplace. It was a dummy good deal, and I was like, you know what are the chances are that something could be wrong? What are the chances are I might have found a really good deal? I could have found a holy grail. Whatever it is, I decided to take the risk on it because if I didn't, I think I would have just beat myself up about it, only because these GSR motors are really getting harder and find, because everyone is either stashing them, parting them, or just hoarding them all to themselves, obviously, like I just said. But I went ahead and picked up this B18C1 with a P72-1 head, which I believe is a GSR. I believe this came out of a DC Integra. I'm not really sure. I don't know a whole bunch of details other than the head and the block are really dirty, and there's apparently, he doesn't know much about the block. He said he bought the block a couple years ago from a buddy for just about the same price as I bought it for. So if that tells you that I bought this for pretty cheap, it's because I did. But it rotates and it sounds pretty decent, but obviously, here at the channel, we're going to be doing some non-stock related things. So if I end up keeping this motor, it is not going to be a huge deal just to throw some rods and pistons in it, new bearings, go to the machine shop, check out everything. The head and the block both have a lot of life left. I'll show you that here real quick. I'll show you the block first here because I have to turn the head around. So as you can see, these are like the little points that tell you basically how much left you can take off of this before it gets to the point of no return. There's a pretty good gap in there. Keep in mind, my Integra has had the head resurfaced twice since I've had it, and then the block has been resurfaced once since I've had it, which isn't terrible because there's still plenty of life on there, and they, most of the times they don't take a ton off unless there's like, it's been beaten up. So anyway, let me get this head turned around here, and we will show you the machine side of the head here. Okay, so as you can see, this is where the one is down here. That is probably identical to the one that's on the block, just on the depth of it. So there's still plenty of life. As you can see here, stock valves from a GSR, from what I can tell. And then dowel pins are in there. P72-1 thermostat, or sorry, coolant pipe. And yeah. So what I'm going to be doing with this head is I'm going to essentially be taking apart the rockers. I'm going to be taking all that stuff out. I'm going to be taking out the springs and retainers. I'm going to be taking those out. As you can see here, got all the cam caps with it, which are really nice, which is good. Those are all, this is one of the big things that gets thrown away with these heads, or, you know, people will ditch these and then try to sell these heads, and it goes, well, you know, if you don't have these cam caps, you have to go out of your way to get them. And if you're finding a good deal on a head, for example, say for example, you find a GSR head for $100. You don't want to go spend another couple $100 in retrospect getting another set of cam caps. But you also have to keep in mind these motors, in good condition, low mileage, rebuilt, whatever, are going upwards of $1,200, or, you know, more, give or take, depending on the mods. So as you can see, there's even stock LMAs in there, which is fine, no big deal. But if I do keep this, which I'm not really sure yet, I'm gonna probably just throw, I don't know, I might get it sleeved, have another backup motor for another build. The garage is a big mess right now because I'm trying to get everything organized for the fabricator, get everything done with the car. The dash harness is probably 80% complete, which is good. And then we're gonna start doing the engine harness eventually. So got to button up a couple other things here. I'm going to make sure I get the master, the brake master wires extended over, and then I should be able to complete that tuck over there. If not, I'll just kind of reroute it underneath somewhere else anyway. But as you guys can see over here, next to my old harness here is another drive shaft. So this is the second Freelander. Well, technically this is the third one that I've had, but I sold one to a buddy of mine who's also doing an all-wheel drive conversion. So, all right, guys. So here we are. We got the GSR head. Obviously, we just kind of went through this a little bit, but we're going to kind of dig a little deeper into it. So to get these rockers out, you need to do a couple things. You need to take these two pins out over here, and then you need to take out these ports on this side. There's two over here, and then there's also going to be another one, as you can maybe probably kind of see right here. So I'm going to first by taking off the VTEC solenoid here, just because that is going to kind of get in our way as we go through it. So just zip this guy off. If you have baggies, that is great. That is going to be the best way to keep yourself organized. VTEC solenoid does not look that bad. The only thing wrong would be this wire here, but I have a couple extra of those, so that's not a big deal. Gasket looks somewhat clean. That's not bad. Just looks like it's been sitting for a while, so that's a given. And say, like, for example, if you don't want to bag everything up at the moment, just put these bolts back in the holes and set it, you know, somewhere where you're not going to lose it, obviously. So as you can see here, we got the one here. I just tried showing you. So we're going to grab our Allen or our torque bits, because we can use those too. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and put the big boy on here. There we go. That is good. It's pretty good on there. So we're gonna keep moving forward with this. I don't want to take a bunch of extra time trying to get stuff off for tools. There we go. There we go. See, it was just probably really dry in there. So, and they have O-rings. So, remember that. It goes like this, and that's that. And this, we're gonna put this. So, now that we kind of have this taken apart, so now we're gonna try to push these rods through, grab the rockers, put them in here. Should be pretty straightforward. Most of the time, yeah, just like that. So, but I need to get this out. I can just push it back through. So that actually moves pretty good, which is a good sign that nothing is out of place at all. Oh, that's kind of cool. So as we are going to start pushing this rod out, or pulling it, it is going to start dropping the rockers. So what I would suggest you to do is to find a screwdriver and just push on the edge of this. So you're basically just gonna push on this all the way through. You're gonna need a little bit of a longer screwdriver until you can pull it. But as you can see here, this rod's coming out pretty easy, and now I can start pulling it out by hand. So just kind of give it a little wiggle. There we go. That is that. So number one is down. We can start pulling these rockers out. They literally just come right out. You're gonna notice really fast that this is how they come out. So there is a pin in here that engages and locks in VTEC. You need to make sure that you, when you disassemble this, understand that this pin will need to go back in. So if you're gonna set these in here, just like this, and this is gonna come out, you need to understand that this pin will have to go back in there, regardless, when you put it back together. Everyone will have one of these, like, we'll just say this is the oil, this one, what's the oil in? That is the middle one, and this is the end one. This is how it will be all the way across the board. So you need to remember that, so that way you're not putting this one, and you're not using two of these, two of those, or just getting straight confused. It is pretty self-explanatory, obviously, because I cannot put this one on this side correctly. As you can tell, it just doesn't really make sense, but I'm sure it can be done. But you will run into issues because obviously this little thing sticking out will not let you put that in there. So that is how they go. I'm gonna put them in there like this because I know how they go, but if you have a better way of doing it, then that is all the way up to you. All these rockers look pretty good condition, which is good. Came out pretty smooth. Well, now we are at the point of where we are going to be taking out these LMAs. LMAs are called lost motion assemblies, and essentially what that is when VTEC engages, VTEC needs something to push onto. And the stock LMAs are okay. They are not the greatest because they wear out a lot over time, as I can show you here once I get one pulled out. Come out really easy. This is an OEM Honda LMA. So as you can maybe kind of hear, this actually sounds pretty good. A lot of these are actually a lot more noisy, and that can be a reason for a noisy valve train as well. I'm not going to plan on keeping these regardless if I sell it or not, because I am not a fan of these. I always go out with the Skunk 2 ones, obviously. That's what I rock in my motor. I've had zero issues. Seems like everything is good with those. I also know that SuperTech makes them. But like I said, I run Skunk 2 in my car, so that's what I'm gonna recommend. Those came out. We got all those out. That is good. Everything looks, you know, we're smooth sailing right now. The next thing I want to do is get the springs and retainers out. All right, guys, so this is the tool here. It is a valve keeper, remover, and installer. I do not use this as an installer, only because with all the new stuff, I don't want to risk something breaking or whatever it is. But removal, here's the deal. We have to put some kind of pressure on the back of these valves, so that way when we pop these out, it's not going to hurt anything. So literally what we're going to do is we're going to take our hammer and give it a tap. As you can see right there, I just got one of those keepers, so I'm going to hit it one more time. Didn't get it. Sometimes you can push down. Sometimes you can push down. And there we go. There's one. So that's how I do that. You can either push down or smack it. I wonder if those are OEM valve seals. Anyway, it don't matter, but I'm just looking at it here. So as we can tell, this head is looking really good. So I'm going to put the keepers in a small baggie because I do not want to lose these. So we're just going to kind of yoink these out of here. As you go through, you need to make sure that you are putting the towel underneath the cylinder pocket that you are doing it. The GSRs that are actually really cool is that the intake side actually has dual valve springs from factory. So if you didn't know that, now you know. All right, guys, so as you can see, we just got the last of the retainers and keepers and retainers. Gonna go ahead and take this guy out. Everything came out really smooth. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop these valves out. So we're really just gonna turn the head sideways here, and we're gonna just push from the stem on the inside, and we're just gonna pop them out. Set those off to the side. Once again, if you are, reusing these, make sure you keep all the intakes on the intake side and all the exhausts on the exhaust side. But for me, that does not matter. These are gonna probably get thrown away anyway. Not too bad, honestly, for some Honda valves. They honestly don't look that bad. Even the exhaust ones don't look that bad. The exhaust ones almost look cleaner. They just have a little more heat on them, probably. So far, obviously I know it's kind of harder to tell with a cylinder head, but this head is looking really solid so far, so that's really good. As we can kind of tell, maybe they were burning a little bit of oil. You can see the seat where the valve goes is kind of burnt up a little bit. There's a lot in there. But that's a typical Honda, so not a big deal. I'm probably just gonna throw these straight in the garbage, honestly. So goodbye, trash can. So those are gone. Now that those are done, I think this is gonna be almost as far as we go with the head today, only because there isn't really much else to do, much else to check. Regardless if I keep or sell, as I'm going to take all of these bolts and or studs out, and I'm gonna go ahead and replace them with what I have on the Integra. So what I have on the Integra is just some studs, and you can put nuts on them. So it is a lot easier. I have the ARPs on the front here, minus the two on the edges. They hold up really good, really nice. And then I have some on the back as well, but those are not ARP. So we got all the keepers here. I'm gonna keep those in a baggie. And then I'm gonna only keep the spring retainers just in case. Valves are much kind of cheaper to replace if I were to replace them, but in case I don't get new springs and retainers, we'll have them. So I'll go ahead and put that in here. Wish these would fit in here, but they don't. So now that the head is all done, we're going to go ahead and move on to the block. I think it's going to take a little time to get through this, but let's go ahead and see if there's any oil in it. I don't know if it has any oil, but we're going to see. It looks like there's coolant. Okay, so as you can just kind of barely see, there was a little coolant in there, which is not the greatest, but it's not as milky as it could be if it was pushed in a head gasket. Oil looks pretty clean. Maybe a little grittiness in the end there, but next thing we'll do, and this won't be a guarantee because I've had so much stuff in here, but I'm gonna put a magnet in the corner and see what that magnet pulls up as we go through the video. So once this gets done draining here, and what we're gonna do now is we're gonna grab our trusty dusty magnet here, and we're gonna just put it in the corner as we continue this video and just see if it grabs anything. So let me find something to put a little leverage. Here we go. So that should basically push everything down to here, and I'm going to just stick it in here. And we'll see if it picks anything up. Now we need to get this crank pulley off. We need to get a couple other things off here. Don't know where my Impact 19 went, but we're gonna borrow a 19 chromie. So crank bolt came off really nice. That is good. I'm gonna bag some of this stuff up only because there can be a lot of stuff here really quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen this belt. That is gonna be probably a 14. Nope, it's gonna be a 12 actually. All right guys, so we're gonna go ahead and flip this over here. And I'm assuming there's gonna be a little bit of fluid that's gonna come out, but I'm not entirely sure. So I got this makeshift towel here ready to catch whatever it is that comes out. And we're gonna go ahead and get this pan dropped. All right guys, here is the moment of truth. We're gonna pop this oil pan here. So, as you guys can kind of see already, we got a lot of stuff in here. So let's keep kind of going, and we're gonna kind of dig through and see what we have here. So there's a lot of stuff right by the pickup. Looks like some bearing material for sure. Oddly enough, it's really clean over here, which has nothing to do with the fact that this could potentially be junk. So it's pretty thin material, which I know this isn't great either way, but if it was more chunk, I don't know. I'm still concerned. But, yeah, I guess let's just keep going. Alright guys, so before I take this bearing out, I'm a little nervous, but I'm still hopeful. So that is not good. Not good at all. Jeez. Wow. Jeez. Wow. So that's where all the material is coming from, as you can see. Jeez, man. That is insane. Wow. And to be honest, the crank doesn't look that bad. And I know that's a lot to probably actually say that, but the crank looks okay. All the caps look good, from what I can tell. Not an expert, but from visual inspection. I wonder what happened. Maybe it got dry, maybe, I don't know, because, oh my goodness. Wow. That is unbelievable. Let's check the thrust bearings here. I wonder if those maybe went out and caused everything to push around. Oh yeah, you can already tell. I don't know if this is what caused it, but these don't look the best. But let's look at the crank real quick. It doesn't look like anything is too bad. Nothing really catches the finger. Yeah, nothing catches the finger. That is the only thing that tells me that this might be savable, is that the crank is okay and the journals looked okay. We're still gonna pull these off eventually, but I think we're gonna wrap up today's video, guys. We did a lot of work and got a lot of information. All right, guys, so I think that's gonna wrap up today's video for the most part. As we can kind of see, it looks like the bearings got eaten up pretty bad, as you can probably tell from just this guy right here. That looks pretty bad. So obviously we still have a little more tearing down to do, but I think we're at a really good stopping point and a really good point of explanation of what might have happened with this block. So for whatever reason I think that is, I think is it savable? Possibly. Is it going to need a rebuild? 100%. So we're going to kind of figure some more stuff out with that, as far as what we're going to do with this block and what is actually able to be done. In the meantime, make sure to hit the subscribe button, share this with at least one friend. We're trying to get up to 100 subscribers by the end of the month here. So we're going to keep going at that. Some more content things that I have coming up for the channel here. I do have some more all-wheel drive stuff coming up. Obviously we're going to be taking this over to the fabricator. We're going to be doing a bunch of videos over there, hopefully with him, just more wrenching, just straightforward getting into things, maybe even how to install the Hub City Performance Kit. Another video I have coming up is how to decorate your garage as a car enthusiast. And I know that's really such a weird thing to have a video about, but you know, having a garage, it made me think, like, it's not just a garage, you know, this is a place where you spend a lot of time. So, you know, obviously we have two banners back here, and that's kind of a start to some of the decor, if you will, that you can use. There's a bunch of things I got in the mail, a bunch of things I'm going to show you guys going forward with that. I'm going to wait until the Integra is gone for that, so I can have a little more free space to be able to get on the wall here and to be able to move around as I need to. Another video also coming up is we're going to be putting the engine harness in from Versatile Wiring. So make sure you guys are following along with that. If you haven't followed our social medias, I'll go ahead and drop it right here. I'm kind of getting into TikTok a little bit, but I'm not really going too heavy with it just because TikTok's not really my thing. I don't want to go too deep into that, but I'm on Instagram. So we'll be on there. On there, I kind of post some things here and there, a little faster than what I have on YouTube. But yeah, so if you haven't followed us there, make sure you go over there and check that out. Another video we have coming up is a oil pressure gauge install. So I have a glow shift oil pressure gauge. As you guys know, I did fit it into the dash. I just took out the cruise control knob and I hollowed out the hole there, and I got the glow shift gauge to fit in there pretty nice. So we're going to be finishing up that install once. I think I'm going to finish putting the dash in and then put in the engine harness. I'm not really sure yet. I'm going to kind of keep going back and forth with that, but that is going to be another video coming up. If you guys have any video suggestions, drop down some comments. If you guys want to see, in-depth, my build list into the Integra, we can do that. If you guys have any Q&As you want to do, we can go ahead and roll some of those out. Whatever it is you guys want to do, let me know. I know there's a lot of people that are curious about things, and I'm willing to share what I know. Some other things I have coming up. I'm kind of thinking about some stuff with the Subaru, but I'm not going to dig into it at all until this Integra is done, only because I want this Integra done so badly. I want to be able to drive it. I just want to be able to enjoy it a little bit before the end of the year comes. So, gonna keep daily in the Subi, gonna keep going with that. Only thing I'm gonna really go with that is I'm gonna be looking for a 6-speed swap for that Subaru. So I'm gonna be trying to find a 04 STI 6-speed from the 04 STIs. So gonna be trying to get some parts ready for that. I'm gonna be also doing some little things here and there to make sure the reliability is still okay. It's 100% stock right now, minus an access port, which was already on the car anyway. So it has a stage 191, and then the catalyst downpipe, but it's got a stock exhaust other than that. But we're gonna kind of slowly start dipping into that a little bit. So I might be getting to the point of where I need to find another daily. We'll see. So I'm not really too deep into this yet, but it is kind of on the sense of what I want to do and more things with that car. But until I get some other things done and some other things on my to-do list done, I'm not going to worry about it. Still have to, find all these parts, work some extra things here and there to get some money for that. So the next video will probably honestly be fabrication or the garage decor, whichever one comes first, or if I have some spontaneous video in between all that, I will go ahead and put those in there as well. If you enjoyed today's video, I appreciate you tuning in all the way to the end. It means a lot to me, and it means that people actually want to see this. So as long as we keep growing and as long as we keep doing what we've been doing, I'm going to keep going with it. So that is the big thing, is as long as there's good growth. I think we've almost doubled subscribers in a month, so that's good news to me and good news to everybody out there watching. So we're gonna keep making content, keep rolling through, and hopefully learn some stuff along the way. So once again, thanks for watching. This is Ghost Media. We'll see you guys in the next one.